launched new sports drink Maximum, described as a massive dose of hydration with 50% more electrolytes than the leading Australian isotonic sport drinks. It comes in 4 bold flavours in a huge 1 litre man-sized bottle. Maximum launched a campaign with the objectives to create 26% brand awareness and get 1 million people to try the drink. To increase awareness, Maximum were aware that they needed to say something incredibly powerful and distinctive from other sport drink brands to 80% of the population between 5 to 7 times a year. They also aimed to extend the volume of exposure by getting the message to as many of the potential target audience as possible in the most effective way. There were numerous challenges Maximus had to overcome, with the main challenges being the fierce competition of drink brands Gatorade and Powerade. Maximus knew they couldn't go head-to-head with these brands, otherwise they would lose, so they had to think openly and find a unique factor that could separate the categories. They also had a small budget, whereas they were aware that their competitor brands had millions available to spend. So they had to discover a way to make a $1 million investment feel like $10 million. Furthermore, they faced the challenge of building from previous poor execution, as they had history with failing miserably when launching new products, costing the company millions. It was also difficult for Maximum, as 75% of consumers reported being satisfied with the current category offers. This meant people were not after a new alternative provider and drink, making it difficult for Maximum to enter into a category that was already filled with option and variety. Part of the role of clients when working with creative and media teams is to share relevant data and provide clear and honest feedback. For example, Maximus talked to target audiences so they could discover what they really wanted in the drinks. This helped Maximus understand that people wanted a big dose of fuel. So they decided to increase their 600ml bottles to a 1 litre bottle and launch it as the non-sports drink. Many of the people they gathered information from stated that they wanted something for a hangover. This helped Maximus open up more of a target, taking away the stereotypical thought that you have to have done sport to consume sports drinks. They described it as a sports drink for the social athletes. The brand decided to use size as the main creative difference. Using size in many of their creative designs, they were able to make the product physically true to what the brand promised with the new product. It is important that there is a good client-agency relationship between all members of the team. Cordial relationships with full trust and confidence is a must to get maximum benefit from team members in an agency in order to reach communication objectives. The client information helped the creative agency, who were in charge of offering a combination of strategy, design, technology, and advertising services to the client to understand exactly what type of visuals would grasp attention and generate awareness. Media planning involves selecting optimal media platforms for the client's brand, Maximus, and of products to use. The job includes determining the best combination of media to achieve the marketing campaign objectives. In this case, Maximum worked with clients to discover that a billboard and TV show would help communicate a strong and clear message, hoping to generate awareness to the new product. Media planning also involves careful analysis of the target market, which Maximum discovered by talking to a range of people and finding out who was most suited to consuming the drink. Once a client has approved the media plan, it must then be purchased. The aim when buying is to achieve maximum media efficiencies in obtaining the most for the least, or in other words, the most audience for the least amount of money. Maximus's creative strategy was extremely successful. They reached their male target of 16 to 44-year-olds by showing their product as being physically available, driving mental availability. They did this by going big and making Maximus too big for a billboard, accompanied with headlines such as "Size Matters," reaching into the insights and wants of the target audience. By looking into the consumer buying decision-making process, they identified that the product needed recognition. They addressed a functional need where they focused on hydration and size, addressing the flaws and lacking of in other sports drinks. They also produced a 6-part TV show that aired on Fox Sport called Maximus Academy. It was very successful. The numeric distribution of all convenience and grocery stores almost doubled from 51% in June to 94% in December. This creative was backed up by an information search where they found out that people wanted a drink that could help with a hangover after drinking beers. These personal sources helped gather relevant information to their creative strategies. By looking into methods within the consumer buying behaviour, Maximus were able to produce effective creative strategies that reached audiences and prompted awareness. For example, the outdoor creatives reached 89% of guys and achieved 35% awareness in comparison to the brand goal of 26%. Maximus's media strategy was successful as they market analysed by having clients supplied competitive and category data as well as identified their target audience's needs and wants. They also had specific and measurable goals which helped set them up for a successful campaign. Moreover, they used strategies and implementation via correct channels that would reach consumers and generate the intended effects. In the media strategy, they considered their marketing budget, which encouraged the brand to think each strategy through in the most creative possible way, protecting the company from overspending or spending money they didn't have. They used OMD's recommendation to use outdoor media as the primary channel to drive awareness. This made their brand position highly visible with a good impact and effective message communication. With referral to the FCB grid, Maximus could have altered their position on the grid to be more informative. They may have liked to use a demonstrative approach where they could have shown the actual benefits in particular situations by producing TV commercials and more detailed information on their website. They could have tried to get people to think more about the effects of the product and how it would help hydrate their body. They may also have liked to consider partnering with other brands and creating events that would have extended their brand awareness. However, overall, the campaign was extremely successful, reaching target audiences and communication objectives. They exceeded all business goals, selling more than 2.4 million drinks in both 2013 and 14.